So, hello my friends, zdravím přátelé z České republiky, ze Slovenska, zdravím diváky a posluchače i z anglicky mluvící. So I would like say hello to all people on the world because today is international. Today is broadcasting in Czech and English, and I have here special guests. One guest because the second one is busy today, but the basic topic is about moon and structures on the moon, and I hope you will enjoy it. And on the phone I have my friend Bret Sheppard, who is who lives in America, and he is specialist on analyzing pictures from moon and from Mars. So we had some technical issues with connection. So I hope it will works, and I hope it will goes well. I prepared some presentation with pictures and some basic information about this topic. So I hope it will support this late evening, or how to say. Pro nás je to odpoledne, pro ty, co jsou v České republice. Takže vítám všechny posluchače a diváky z česky hovořící nebo česky rozumící. A děkuji, že jste vydrželi těch 15 minut čekat, protože s Bretem jsme tady řešili nějaké technické záležitosti. Ale už se to snad podařilo, ještě Bret si rychle utíkal nabít mobil, aby se mu nevybil během našeho povídání, ale doufám, že všechno bude fungovat. Osobně si myslím, že docela zázrak, že se můžeme bavit přes oceán. So, I say the same thing in Czech language, so it will be for me, it's a new experience for me because I will talk in English and translate it in Czech. So I hope for people who don't understand English, I will say the same sometimes in something in Czech language. So, Bret, how is it? How is the situation on your side? Did you? Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to hear you. It was a little bit crazy. The second start yesterday, we forgot to broadcasting, and today the setuping the connection. So it's really nice to hear you. So you have nice weather. Me too. We have sun going away. So I hope we will see them in next hours. Borscht? Yeah, borscht. This is a word that I know in Czech language. This is something from borscht. Yeah, it's nice. So maybe we can introduce you for the beginning. Who you are and what you are doing and what is your connection with the topic of the moon and something hidden in the moon. I prepare some short CV or bio, but maybe you can explain it more. Yeah.
Cream, you know, and she sat there and she showed me in the dark one moon image after another, but they were shown to me like an anomaly. Like, what do you perceive? You know, like a psychological examination. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I see gods and goddesses. That looks like a man, you know, by a cave with a dragon. So my perception of the moon images is much different than anyone on Earth, you know, because of this circumstance.
So,
And she was, yeah, she was showing me my own images from 40 years later. My own.
Yeah.
And I remember these when I was 15 years old, the exact same image. I have a photographic memory, you know.
Yeah.
And later, it was intriguing to me, not looking for an anomaly, like a building in the moon picture or something. My goal was to see if the moon images were tampered with, or if they are legitimate moon images. And based on my experience of talking to people who work for the NSA and work on satellite dishes on the moon, and they have very exotic things on the moon, we are not seeing the correct moon in any NASA image. None.
I think this is the basic thing I would like ask you about, because this is a basic question I get this sometime on some discussions. They ask me, ZMÉNA, what do you think? Did we land on the moon, or did they show us the real pictures from the moon, or is it some hoax or fake? Yeah, because
yes.
Because you know what is about.
I can answer that. Yeah. The lunar images or any propaganda from NASA does not mean we landed on the moon, or we did land on the moon, because they were covering up a secret space program since the 50s. You know, they already with Russia already had a lunar base on the moon in the 50s.
Yeah.
And people need to know that they already were on the moon constructing things in the 50s.
Yeah. So
NASA, yes, it's definitely propaganda, you know.
Yeah. So you mean that the people were on the moon before the official moon Apollo moon program?
Yes, this was an extension of Project Horizon that Eisenhower and General Arthur Trudeau constructed, and this was an extension of that secret project that was equivalent to the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
And that was stated by Arthur Trudeau.
And
the reason,
for the Manhattan Project, it was about atomic construction of atomic bomb, and and you mean that this was this still is, I think, the biggest hiding about our history, about our people history, in context of the moon or space traveling, I think.
Yes, we had ancient affiliation with extraterrestrials, but nothing really overt. Now, since the atomic bomb, we have overt contact with extraterrestrials, our secret government.
Yeah.
And they have the extraterrestrials were concerned because we're ripping open time, time space, you know, so they are dimensionally concerned about it, because there's an etheric race that lives right with us in another dimension. So we're blowing the crap out of their world, you know. So they since then they have done everything they could to stop us from lighting off any nuclear weapons or anything. They literally stopped it.
Yeah.
They have disabled all nuclear weapons on Earth.
Yeah.
So any country that says that they have the strength or the power, they do not.
Yeah. This is really interesting, because I heard about this issue in some interviews, I think with Stephen Greer or Richard Dolan. Maybe you know these guys. And
I do know them. Yes.
Yeah. and they said the same story, that the ETs came down and said, no atomic bombs, no warfare in the
That's
open
correct.
space, in the open space. Yeah, because it could damage your Earth and the outer space or other dimensions. But we are
Yes, obviously.
not good, but we don't know how it works. Maybe we can talk a little bit about the pictures you sent me before, because I prepared for some little presentation, and
Good.
yeah, and maybe for the short beginning, we can explain how these pictures came out, because you have a great friend, Ken Johnston, who should have been here in this talk, but he is busy now, and so we will make some next broadcast in the future. I hope near future. But
yes, he will.
yeah, but we could say something about how these pictures came out. I hope you know this story, Ken's story, and then we can explain some about. You can say something about we'll see now, what we see now.
Well, in general, I want to say that I am not looking for anomalies. Okay.
Yeah.
In the picture, what I'm looking for is an anomaly in the processing of the picture. So it's not. I do not consider seeing what I see because of perceptual issues, that there is some building on the moon because it's in the picture. That's not my idea. I'm looking for the anomaly in the process. I'm looking for water damage on the emulsion. I'm looking for sun damage on the emulsion. I'm looking at it as an artist. How good is this photograph and what happened? And what I found was that the earliest processing of NASA images was a digital process. And at first they started out with the mirrors and camera with mirrors and did analog processing. Now that transferred to data and digital processing. So they have full control over what we see about the moon image. They can now cover it up with CGI textures. They can do all kinds of things now. But back then in the 60s, they were actually airbrushing over the moon image with acetate. And they would do a layer of acetate and rub out or brush out or correct anything that looked like life on the moon or any structure. Because the Brookings report that came out in 1960 stated that it would be extraordinarily disturbing and a national security issue if people were to know that there's life out in space. They said that there is life there. The possibility is so great, it's overwhelming that there's life out there. But as far as actually discovering life, they were not going to tell the world.
It came to my mind. I hear stories from a few people who worked for NASA in JPL lab, and they said, "Yeah, I have seen it. I have seen it on my eyes that they airbrushed out everything." What will look like alien bases or UFO or something like that, because as you said, because people will not take it, because it will be a disaster for this for people,
socio-economic, religion, everything.
Maybe we can talk more about these pictures, because I'm put out yours. It's I
Yes.
think it's from your book. Is it correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So what we have we can see here on these pictures. If you can explain
Well,
more.
what you're looking at is exactly what I saw in my art class when I was 15 years old. These are perceptually, it's like art. You're looking at a piece of artwork, and perceptually you are seeing ancient gods and goddesses from the Pelagian Empire. And this is, I hope you all know that word. You know, it is your ancient history in the Balkans. This is Pelagian. It's old tribes like Dacia, Illyria, Thracia, and you know all of the old ancient tribes. There's Dardania. You know. I hope you all know these words because it's your ancient history. And I am seeing not modern perception of gods and goddesses. I am seeing the old perception from that empire. And they are wearing cold weather clothing, you know, garb, like bear skins, and you know, because they're cold. This is where the Greek mythology started, with the older, like 6,000 years ago, empire.
So you mean that these constructions or shapes are from really old civilization?
Yes, very old civilization, and depicted in the images Aegeus. There's Theseus. There's the Minotaur. You know, these old concepts from Crete, and the old Minoan Empire. There's Minoans.
I remember you have some picture of these.
Yes. And one of them is depicting Theseus. One of them is very interesting. It depicts it depicts Icarus and Daedalus. Daedalus is shown as a little naked man that is kneeling in front of an altar with a broken wing, and that particular image was filmed in Icarus crater. Icarus crater on the moon, the backside, supposedly. You know. So this is Daedalus kneeling at the altar of Apollo, asking, you know, to bring his son Icarus back because he flew too close to the sun. Well, when he flew too close to the sun,
this story I know.
You know the story, yeah. But it's depicted in the image,
So,
and it's extraordinarily themed. This is just one image. It's 1197_MED from Lunar Orbiter 1. It is only one image. It shows all of the aspects of religion, gods and goddesses, mythology from the ancient empires.
So these, as you call them, Zeus and Hera and Mercury and Venus.
Yes,
this
very
is
fuzzy.
From the same place and same
This
mission.
is from all the same image. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Oh. And
right.
And there is the next one goddess you mean before.
Yes, and then there's goddess
or just these
Gaia. Yeah.
Or just these three figures or more? There's more?
Yeah, all of them. There's much more. There's thousands of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not no joke. I'm not trying to say something that's not true.
I believe you, because there's a second slide ahead I have, and when I see it first time, it was my question: who is the guy?
Who is this guy? Yeah, and this is the moon image.
Yeah, and on the left, I think this guy on the left, if I think this is his hair, there's face.
Oh, yeah, yeah, hair and face, yes, everything.
Right arm, and maybe he is something holding here. It seems to
Yeah, Theseus. That's Theseus.
And on the do you have some comment for this?
Yeah, well, in the moon image, it's more complicated than that's just Theseus. He's actually talking to Silenus, who taught him warfare. And Silenus is, of course, a forest creature like a goat man. And he's also in the dimensional background of the image. You know, you also have the girlfriend. You know, the lady that helped him or gave him the clue to go into the labyrinth and kill the Minotaur and come back. You know. So yes, this was the one he was in love with, and she's also depicted in the image. There's a goat man. There's also Poseidon. Poseidon makes up Poseidon's hair is the cloak that Theseus has on, and then you see Poseidon in the waves. You know, so yeah, there is a great deal, because remember, Theseus was born of two gods, Zeus and Poseidon. You know,
there's an interesting question about how is possible that the Greek and Roman mythology is depicted on the moon?
Oh yes, that's much younger.
From? Who copied make copy of this story? From
yes, it's too complicated. Right, they did not put, NASA did not put those in the moon image. So it must be extraterrestrial.
So you mean this story about from stories from Greek mythology or and so are stories from extraterrestrials, and
yes, and I would like to explain
that only over talking and how to say it's převyprávět over again target stories from
yes, the same
from past
that's the same archetype stories. Yes. And these archetype stories are embedded in there in different ways, in different combinations. There's the sun, which you can consider a projector on the moon, and you get all kinds of dimensional information from the sun on a planet, you know. And when it shines and NASA takes the picture, their process is digital, and the extraterrestrials gave us that technology. So when they do digital processing, the computer tries to make a pattern, a human history pattern out of this image. So you have many layers and like a giant collage that's interdimensional put in the moon image, you know, and it's based on digital information and a collection of everything that they programmed into the computer. And the computer tries to make sense out of this to produce the image. So you have patterns, serious pattern. So what I'm saying is the computer becomes an observer. You know.
Yeah, I remember you showed with me. It's some days ago some picture, but I don't remember if it was from Moon or Mars. And you said this is about multi-layers, so it's not just about to what I see, but it's about what is behind. And
yes,
and how I understand now, this is the common pattern over the solar system everywhere and over this whole space.
That's correct. Yes, all NASA images have this profound extra layers, multi-dimensional layers, where an artist can see see these images as their artwork, like you're looking at a scene, you know, of an old, you know, empire or something. Or, you know, one image, all of the Lunar Orbiter 1 images have this very clearly, and each clear Lunar Orbiter 1 image is themed with a different theme. It's not all gods and goddesses and stuff. One image may have all Pinocchio. One image may have all clowns and clown history, like the Harlequin. You know, one image may have everything about Disney characters. So yeah, you know, you can understand that these images are themed. And you know,
there is a question about, for example, this. I think it's the left top left part is something from Ken's archive. One of many pictures, and
yes.
yeah, and this is it seems to me it's like this radio telescope, or how to say English.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And this is on the moon, and this is a digital CGI reconstruction of this place, because there is this radio telescope and some. It looks like
rows, like a crop.
Yeah. And this tower. Yeah. And I remember that Ken was talking about this place. And what do you know something about this? And what do you think about this place in context to you said before? Because when we talking about some layers and some repeating history presented.
Oh yeah, there's
in the
very
surface, and then on the right, on the left side, you will see some technological buildings. How is this connected?
Yes, this is something that I feel that they missed. I feel that they missed it when they were digitizing the image and doing their CGI magic, you know.
Yeah.
But this particular row of lights, you know, is absolutely geometric, and the distance between the rows are exactly the same. So it's very military, you know.
I think I have this picture here.
The picture is from Mare Fundamentalis. It's the northern end of Mare Fundamentalis.
I will find it because there is this is is it that these these dots? Yeah.
These dots, yes. And I was told when I was at a conference showing this image, a man named Vance Davis came up to me, and he said that he worked with he was someone that was in the Army in 1989, and he was a radio expert with the NSA, talking to the Russian people on the other side of the wall when the Berlin Wall was still up. And he told me after he got out of the Army that he went and worked for the NSA, and that they have satellite dishes on the moon to where they're talking with extraterrestrials, and the signal is being bounced back to the VLA, the Very Large Array, and also the big radio dishes on Earth.
Yeah.
Arecibo, that sort of thing. So they are getting extraterrestrial communication, but guess what? It's not just sound; it's pictures.
Yeah. So
that they're getting back.
So if I understand it well, it seems like a radio telescope, something like a harp radio telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah, for communication
Yes.
with extraterrestrials. And
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, and this is ours. This
Yes,
is
this is ours.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's been there since, you know, the 50s, some parts.
Yeah. So the guy you meet on the conference said it's it is there from 50s.
Yes, he confirmed that for me.
Ah.
He said that is a fact. He works on them.
Yeah.
And he has friends that work on them. And
So
they go to the moon and maintain them.
So it seems to me it's a part of the Project Moondust, as you said on the beginning.
Yeah, the project. Yeah, it's Project Horizon was the old version. Now they have different other projects that are associated with it. One of them was Project Mayflower. You know, literally to go to a new land, etc. That project turned into the project. You know, with the big ship, big spacecraft, you know. And so they have a secret space program. They have been building things on the moon for the exact purpose. And a lot of people don't know that in 1924, Nikola Tesla built he had already built a radio telescope. And C.F. Jenkins and them were doing an experiment, and they were pointing the radio telescope that he built to Ursa Major and Mars and the moon, and they were getting signals back. And this was a time before satellite dishes were in our orbit. They were getting signals back, so we had already made contact with extraterrestrials in 1924, if that puts anything in perspective.
Yeah, wow. It's it really changed the point of view, but we have already done and when because if you say we had established connection with extraterrestrials before Second War, First War.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whoa.
And during World War II, it was a very esoteric idea to communicate with the beyond, the other side, or extraterrestrials. You know, it's all considered extraterrestrial, etheric worlds, whatever. But you had Maria Orsich, you know, and her father Thomas Orsich.
I hear about her.
Yeah, you've heard of her, and a lot of people don't know that Thomas Orsich, her father, is the one that took her information to Victor Sheppard. And they were colleagues at the university in Vienna. And they were working on earth science, or earth energy, vortex energy, etc., electromagnetics and all that. So they really were trying to build a, you know, some kind of earth-based extraterrestrial type vehicle, or based on, you know, the knowledge that extraterrestrials gave them. And I want to say something about Maria Orsich. The writing was not the writing that she wrote was not Sumerian. It was Illyrian. It is from Illyria. It is very old Balkan language.
Lyra, how to say?
Yeah, the star people from Lyra. Yes, Illyria.
I see.
She said that she was in contact with people from Aldebaran, which is the eye of Taurus. It is our second sun. It is our old sun. It is our binary star.
Aldebaran.
It is our old place. Yes. So you have that, and you have the Aldebarans that are contacting Maria Orsich and Sigourney, you know, and Sigourney was writing things down, and also she was writing things down, you know. There were two mediums that were working together, and they were using a spirit board to contact the extraterrestrials. Well, later, Vance Davis, who had learned in the NSA and the secret projects how to use a Ouija board to contact the other side, were doing an experiment in Germany. Okay, same area, around the same Czechoslovakian German area, that very similar area along the Danube River, you know. They were contacting extraterrestrials that were giving them instructions to get out of the army and go back to Gulf Breeze, you know, so they did that. And that's not the big point or whatever, but the point is that not only they used the spirit board to contact extraterrestrials, but also Ilona and Ivana Pravatska are also using the spirit board to contact extraterrestrials in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very significant thing because our ancient ancestors and empires started right where you live. Right where you live.
Yeah, you mean in Central Europe?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's an interesting point of view because one of the topic that I'm broadcasting as a serial is about Sumerian civilization, and Sumerian civilization seems to me it starts somewhere in on the south part of the Turkish and Iranian area.
Yeah, Indo-Iranian,
Mm-hmm.
Indo-European.
And
yes.
And then it seems to me it goes to the Europe part of the Europe, so by central or by the middle sea, and then to the Africa, Egypt, and so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But back to the Maria Orsic and the Nazis, it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, it really has nothing to do with the Nazis at all.
Yes, but
it was not part of the Nazis. You know, it was part of the Thule Society. They were an organization that were an esoteric secret society. They had nothing to do with the Nazis whatsoever. The society existed before Hitler came into power and the Nazis formed, you know.
Yeah. So it's this connection, the connection between Nazis. You mean that the Nazis came after, but it seems to me the Nazis used data from Vril and Maria Orsic.
Yes, the connection was Victor Schauberg, who was working with the Nazis, and also Werner von Braun was also using this information.
Yeah.
So yes, they were Nazis. Heimlich Himmler was absolutely obsessed with the esoteric. He liked Aleister Crowley and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned Werner von Braun, and I would like to ask you your opinion about this guy because, as you know, his history is a little bit complicated because he started as a Nazi engineer.
Yes.
And then he moved to USA, and there he was
through
working,
Project Paperclip. Yes.
Yeah. He was working on Apollo mission. So
yes, he was considered the father of rocketry, but that's not exactly true. It was Konstantin Tsiolkovsky was the father of rocketry, and he was Werner von Braun's instructor. You know, it was Tsiolkovsky, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
Konstantin, I try to find him.
Okay, good.
Konstantin. The second name is how? Have you said it?
Tsiolkovsky, just like the crater. TSIOL. TSKOVSK. Y or I. Yeah.
Oh, no. One moment. A technical problem. So you will see what I will what I'm writing. Kovsky, like that, or oh, let it be, let it be. So you are you there, Bret?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So you mentioned that Werner von Braun was not the best guy about
Well, he was the
rocket
father of
engineering.
rocketry. Yes, he was the father of rocketry in America, but his information comes from Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, who, you know, back in the 30s had advised during a film called Cosmic Voyage in 1930s. And this was the exact propaganda that NASA used for the whole program.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie, The Cosmic Voyage, it's a very old film. You can look it up on YouTube. And this particular film was the if you watch the film, is the exact way NASA did everything.
Mm-hmm.
As far as propaganda, because as you know, the Russians were also very good at propaganda.
Yeah, this is one of the main thing I think about cosmic programs, about space programs in Russia and in USA. They
Yes, what I want,
both sides
what I want to say,
had a really good PR. And
yes, on both sides, you have to understand that science is not political. All over the world, the scientists all over the world are on board with each other. It doesn't matter. There's no politics there. It's about science. And you know, it has nothing to do with the political world that you see on TV, which is also absolutely false. We are not in war with in Russia with any way at all.
Yeah.
It's all propaganda for you know the public. And the thing about it is that when Werner von Braun came over here with Project Paperclip, he brought all of Maria Orsich's work. He brought all of the secret technology and everything else. And that's what they were secretly working on. Can you stop? Yeah. Can you stop that? Turn it off. Yeah. They came over here and they started building a secret space program. And everything that NASA was propaganda to cover up the secret space program. Everything.
Yeah. This is some controversial topic because as you mentioned the secret space program, I'm just working on translation of Stevens Greer book Unknowledge.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, from English to Czech language. And there is a part on the beginning they mentioning the situation that it was crazy. They were crazy. One guy who is anonymous, who say that is part of the crew of NASA, but who wants to stay in anonymous. And he said, I know about our alien technologies, about extraterrestrial technologies that we had already reverse engineered, and about technologies from Schauberger and von Braun, and I know that these guys know how to bullet dishes and so, and we still were working on boring rockets and so, and it seems to me really crazy that people like von Braun and so know about this controversial situation, and still they came out and say, yeah, we are good rocket masters and so and so. Yeah.
Of course they knew. Werner von Braun was in the secret room over at Langley, and they were working with TRW, looking at the real moon being videotaped, being broadcast on another signal. So it's not that the guys didn't actually go, but they had extraterrestrial technological help to get to the moon. And when they got there, they saw large spacecraft that were not ours sitting on the crater, communicating with them. So all the astronauts know what is on the moon, and they were sworn to secrecy about these things.
Yeah, you mean this the story when the Apollo 11 came to the moon, and
they went to the moon and they took pictures, and they took videotape,
and they have seen,
but the public never saw any of it.
Yeah, I think it was John Brandenburg and the second guy. Oh. I know them. William Tompkins.
Yeah, William Tompkins. Yes, he was in charge of TRW, working on a very important project that had to do with the S-band antenna and receiving signals back from the moon and also video.
Yeah.
And they were watching the secret movies that all the high ups at NASA were watching, while the public was watching something else entirely different. Yeah, possibly studio bullshit, you know.
This is a book from William Tompkins. Is
chosen by extraterrestrials. Yes.
Yeah. Selected by extraterrestrials. So this is the first book. I think he was working on second book, but I'm not sure if he finished it.
I don't know, but I think Nicholas Redfern helped him with that book, and he may have permission to publish whatever they were working on.
Yeah, because William Tompkins, I think it was previous year he died.
Yes, he died, and I knew that he was going to die, not because of secret knowledge or whatever, but just intuition because of his age and everything. And I had sent Ken to go meet him over in Las Vegas at the MUFON symposium. So Ken met him right before he died, and they talked about TRW and the instance with the Nordics, you know, having relations with the Nordics and such. Oh. Both of them did, by the way. Ken actually had visitations with the Nordics as well, and arranged meetings with the Nordic.
Oh,
the secretary, you know.
So it sounds really interesting. Maybe we can go back to the moon. And because
let's go back to the moon.
Because we have some pictures. This is I found on this one I found on the internet. And do you know something about this picture? Is it real or is it some CGI composition? Because
both.
Both.
It's both. Yes. And I know this for a fact. I know the guys that actually, you know, take those images and manipulate them and try to make them look better. And when they mean by meaning looking better, they mean they are obfuscating them. They are making them look more like the public perception of the moon, not what's really there.
So, but this was just for fun.
That came from Ken's archive, yes, and that is some ruins, I believe.
Yeah, because there is a lot of pictures from from the moon surface with ruins. We can show something. For example, this one. It takes me a little bit time when I start to see what is there, because I see and fix me if I'm not correct, or say I see this part. It seems to me like some structure in the over the surface. This one. Do you see my mouse? And yeah, there is something in behind the over the dark side or dark place behind. There is something.
Yes.
Yeah, and the second one I'm not sure, but it's from your pictures. But
yes, I believe I have. I think I gave you the Apollo 12 image of the background with the lunar module.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there?
Yeah.
That picture was given to me by Donna Hare.
Yeah, Donna Hare. Yeah, she's one of them, the people who have seen that they cleared out everything what was extraterrestrial.
Yes,
So,
they obfuscate things, and she was there witnessing them putting the acetate over the image and making the image look however they want, and then refilming it.
Yeah. It seems to me this is from Apollo 12. But
yes, Apollo 12. Yes, and that's Alan Bean in the foreground. Maybe I just gave you the part where it's the background. But there's a lunar module, and there's structures and where you can see in the background.
Yeah, this part. Yeah,
yes,
this small part, and there is something in in his helmet.
Yeah. So okay, that is something in his visor. It is probably one of the craft that Tompkins was talking about.
Yeah, alien. Oh, extraterrestrial ship. And this is the same picture and what I found on internet, and it's zoomed in. So we can
even more controversial than that. If they did film that in a studio, you can also see the overhead lights. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the visor.
Yeah,
the lights are reflecting overhead.
Yeah,
and these particular lights, I know where this place is in NASA that has lights like that.
Yeah.
So if it is filmed in a studio, you can understand why they're not showing the public anything.
Yeah. Because this is one of the basic questions what I asked on the beginning. Is it real or is it faked on in the studio? Because
it is a good assumption that all of the public images are fake. A very good assumption.
Yeah. So,
and it does not mean that they didn't go to the moon. It means the images are fake.
Yeah, this is basic thing I say everyone when ask me about this. I say there's two things you have to mention. First, that the pictures are real or not. Maybe not. It seems to me that not, because there's
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think some of them are combined with actual lunar topography.
Yeah.
The surface and stuff. But I think for the most part, they are not considered what I would consider a reliable source of what the moon looks like.
Because, for example, this picture, maybe you know them, these pictures, because there is same background and same. It seems to it's same distance from the background, and there is different foreground. lunar model is
Donna
there,
here said,
and there is nothing. A lunar model is a little bit small here.
Yeah, the way Donna Hare described that image is, she said there's a lunar module in the background, and there's a satellite dish next to the lunar module. And she said that satellite dish does not belong there. It was too big to take on the lunar module, and that is not the same one that the astronauts folded, you know, to put in a storage or something on the lunar module, but that is actually a structural satellite dish, and that's what she was trying to say. And that the things that I saw in the background, she said, don't worry about that. That is water damage and other problems.
Yeah.
And she got this image out of the Dempsey dumpster because NASA was throwing away all of the images.
Yeah. So
and Ken was there to witness that too.
Yeah. It's how to say, it's a bit crazy.
It is crazy, and you know, because they were throwing away all the images, that they considered them nothing, just art, bullshit for the public.
Yeah, maybe this should explain what is about, because
Yes.
I think you sent me these pictures before, not now, but I know it from you, from Facebook. These guys who creating the model of moon surface in NASA somewhere in
Exactly.
So the story behind this is that they use it for training astronauts for
Yes.
controlling lunar module, as I know. So
Yes.
it was official part, but these models seems to be so accurate, so we can not see different if it's real or if it is model.
Yes, they are, and I'll say that without any doubt, I've been studying these for 40 years. Okay,
Yeah,
that these images are not correct.
Yeah,
They are not accurate.
Yeah. So, and when you take pictures from Ken archive, what do you think?
The most important thing I got from Ken's archive is that the images were manipulated. And his archive proves that. Okay.
Yeah. So you mean that these pictures from Ken are manipulated too? That they are
Yeah,
not?
some of them are. Some of them are half manipulated. Some of them are totally manipulated. But what his archive clearly shows is that there was an extensive amount of artistic manipulation with the photography.
So because my idea about his archive was that these pictures are original as more as possible. So you mean
So some of them, they missed anomalies. Some of them, you know, they're half manipulated. You know, they're half designed, and sometimes they miss something in the Apollo 11 sky or the Apollo 12, some extraterrestrial craft sketching along the surface or something, and they forgot to take it out. You know.
Yeah, because for example, if I open internet and I say and I write Ken Johnston,
Ken Johnston,
yes,
Senior, and then go to archive.org and you'll find all his images.
Archive. So we can open his her web. Oh, my crazy English. Ken Johnson.
You can open up all his images. I scan them and put them there.
Yes. Which site you mean? Ken Johnson archive?
Archive.org.
Archive.org. Oh no. Yeah, this is that.
Yeah, Ken Johnston Sr. You have test subject pictures, Apollo 11, 12, you know, all that.
Yeah. So when I open this site, oh, a little bit slow. These pictures.
Oh yeah, and they're good. You know, very good resolution, and you'll notice the difference of Ken's images. He actually has the NASA image numbers on the image.
Yeah. So
and none of the public ones are that way.
So everyone can check out that these images are original. And yeah.
Yes, you can look at those.
Yeah. What is this? For example, this dot, or yeah, these these structures here. I think this is the part you talk about some dishes in the field. Is it correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And I think this this part is I think I have it in detail. One moment.
Yeah, you have it in detail, and that particular image that was taken 60 miles above the surface.
Is it that? Because
yeah, 60 miles above the surface. You see the command service module floating above the lunar surface, and the lunar module actually took the image.
Yeah, and it seems to me that someone said it is like a glass dome or something like that.
Like a glass dome. Yeah, you know.
This
yeah, there's yeah, it's I don't know if it's a glass dome. You might be talking about the one on Mars, the ship on the surface.
No. I think it was from Richard C. Hoagland and maybe someone else who said that on these pictures from the moon you can see glass domes. And
no,
I'm not sure it's if it's on Ken's archive to possible to see.
Well, that I might get kind of bashed for saying this or whatever, but I think when Richard Hoagland presented that material, he said that there was like rebarb and metallic structural things that were on the moon or whatever. But you have to understand NASA image processing. They processed this stuff and printed it on canvas. So what you're seeing is the pattern of the canvas in the background. So it's not structures or domes or anything.
So you mean that these structures that are presented by Richard C. Hoagland, that this is not actually some buildings, but just a surface of picture, or
Yes, the surface, the actual material that they printed the picture on.
Yeah. Well.
And and that is my opinion and my perception of that. Richard Hoagland has a totally different perception of that. He thinks that there are moon domes and everything all over the moon, but the problem is that we knew Edgar Mitchell too, and we asked him those questions, and he said, well, if there was a moon dome on there, I would have crashed into it.
Yeah, this is one of the my basic question to Edgar Mitchell, if it would be possible to ask him. How to explain it, because he was one of the guys who went to the moon. So what he what he have seen, because he was the nice guy who said, I want to publish everything about ETs and so, but he was on the second side of this conspiracy theory, because
on the other side, he wasn't allowed to totally say everything.
Yeah.
So he pushed the envelope. He told us enough to where we can understand from our forefather, you know, that yes, there are things on the moon that the public never saw.
Yeah, and for the example, I think it was Apollo 14 mission. Maybe you know these pictures. And this how to say, CPO head, as someone said. This is CPO from Star Wars movie, Hollywood movie. And
C3PO, you mean the data head thing that was in Dark Mission and the Richard Hoagland's?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I've analyzed that. I've seen also another image that shows the same thing or whatever, and you know, this is a perceptual issue, but I think that's a great thing to look at, you know. About shadow and light and what to look at. I'm not saying it's not some kind of android head or some kind of robot. It could be. Who knows?
Yeah. And I remember that someone asked to Edgar Mitchell, because the part from they extract this head is a picture that was taken by Edgar Mitchell personally, and they asked them if he remember that there is something like that, and he said no, I don't remember nothing about this.
Yeah, he has to say that in public. He has to. He is forced by the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, and the CIA not to say anything.
Yeah, because it reminds me maybe you have seen the press conference after Apollo 11, and
oh yeah,
it seems to me it's not about three guys that made something really wonderful, astonishing, or how to say, that they are the best. They seems to me that they came from some funeral stuff, or
yes, yeah. They act like they're traumatized children.
Yeah.
You know, they act like they saw something so traumatic and they can't ever say nothing about it. You know.
Yeah. And when you look at them really carefully, you see that they are reading something from
the reading,
paper.
Yes.
From the papers.
Yes, they're told to say something, and this is where they screwed up. They said there are no stars, and that they could not see them with their eyes. Yeah, it's understandable if the camera doesn't take a picture of the stars because of, you know, problems with the camera and lighting. But if they came back and they said, like Neil Armstrong and them, that they literally could not see stars with their own eyes, then you have a problem. You have a big problem because there's no atmosphere.
Yeah. This is basic thing when I see today some pictures from the space, and first I ask where are the stars? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I understand that they had problems with shooting
with
stars,
photography, sure.
Make photography in the past, but today with the new technologies, it's not believable for me. Yeah, when we have some pictures from ESS or so from the space.
No, every image they black out the sky. Every single NASA image.
Yeah,
black.
So it's crazy. Yeah,
why? It is crazy, and you know your gut feeling that they're lying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's in your gut. You know, that's not the truth. We
Yeah.
know that's not the truth. We're human beings.
This is a crazy. This is a really crazy thing. Why? The question is why they do it. Why they lying still? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
there could be several reasons that we don't even know about. Some esoteric reason, you know, that they're
Yeah.
lying. One big reason is they are not allowed to tell us that extraterrestrials are real.
Yeah. Because
Problems with religion and everything.
yeah, sure. Because one of the big part of this disinformation campaign is that they are lying with ESS station, International Space Station. So
Yeah.
I mean that they are continuing with the faking ultra space reality. So
Yes, they're continuing with the propaganda.
yeah,
They're continuing the same propaganda over and over again. Chinese space program is a carbon copy of what NASA did
NASA
with propaganda.
yeah,
You know.
NASA making fakes, China making fakes, Russian make fakes.
Yeah, you know the Chinese lunar maps, all of them are a CGI version of the old Clementine naval map.
Yeah, so they remastered
That's the same.
so they remastered just images from Clementine mission. Oh, great.
Yes. So what you have is developed over the different countries. You know, not legitimate space programs, but an extension of the propaganda.
Mm. Oh. Whoa. So
Right.
what?
So yes, that's anomalous, right? That is
how,
an anomaly.
so how it will continue this crazy stuff?
Right.
So maybe I will check if we have some picture more. We can talk, but I think we had everything on the desk, so we can take it to the end. Yeah.
All right. Good.
Maybe the last one. That was really interesting. Where you find this? Do you see it? This face?
Yes, that face. That's I believe I know what you're talking about. That's but you can see the face, right?
Yeah. I see the face. The red third eye or something like that, and blue hairs, or how to. And yellow face on the surface, or something like meteorite or like that.
Yeah, you know, those are those are some of the embedded imagery that I see in the process. You know, when they make the processing of the image, I see these kinds of things, but it's not a big deal until you understand that they're actually themed. So throughout the image, it's the same theme. So you see these faces, you know, just like you look in another picture that you took on Earth, and you see all kinds of things in the image, ghosts and faces and everything. So this is the same kind of processing that was done a long time ago with the original digital process.
So
And the camera's computer actually becomes an observer, putting together this image in patterns. So we have the patterns from this morphogenic field that are bits and pieces of knowledge, like just one pattern of all kinds of historical events in one image that are embedded.
So you mean this is not a physical object, and
Yes, we see the face, you know.
yeah. So it's something what is presented from different dimension, and the computers don't know it, so they just processing images with the faces.
You still there?
Yeah. Do you hear me? Hello? Oh. Something wrong? Bret? Do you hear me? Hello? Oh, it seems to me that we lost connection or what? I hear you. Oh. Hello. Hello, Beth. I see you. I hope you do you see me? Ouch. We lost connection. So maybe we can finish this talk and I thank you to everyone who stay tuned to this end, and thank you to Bret. I hope he is hearing, he is listening me or not. Oh, so maybe next time we will prepare next present. I hope we can prepare next presentation with Bret and Ken and go to the moon again and talk more deep in the and go to more deep in this topic and have more fun about some hidden stuff in this topic. Takže přátelé, přecházím zpět do češtiny. Děkuji za pozornost a děkuji Bretovi, když nejsem si jistý, jestli mě ještě slyší, ale slyším ještě v pozadí nějaký ruch. Tak doufám, že to k němu dorazí, ta zpráva, že děkuji za pozornost. Thank you, Bret, so much for your talk and your presentation here. Tak a doufám, že se zase brzy uslyšíme a uvidíme ve vysílání a doufám, že do příště vyladíme techniku, aby jsme tu prezentaci dokázali líp koordinovat. Takže mějte se krásně a zase někdy naslyšenou, naviděnou ve vysílání.